CBS 12 News at 11.
3 brothers sent to war. 2 came back in coffins.
You fall under that illusion that it can't happen to the same family twice.
A family torn apart by the realities of war. The story of a modern-day Saving Private Ryan.
Stranded for 33 days.
Could you survive on a deserted island eating only conch and rags? They did. The story of survival.
Their homes burned to the ground because they were black. What really happened in the town of Palm Beach more than 100 years ago? The effort's now underway to rebuild it.
The news starts now.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight at 11. Tonight, a local man reminds us of the sacrifice military soldiers and their families endure to keep America safe. Only a handful of families in American history have sacrificed as much as the Wise family. 3 brothers all answered our nation's call, signing up to fight in Afghanistan and Iraq. 2 didn't make it out. And the 3rd brother is now making it his mission to honor their memory.
Yeah, Liz, he is getting some help from a Delray Beach book author, and both are hoping this story of sacrifice will give a glimmer of hope to other veterans and families who have lost loved ones to war. CBS 12's Jay O'Brien shares the story of the Wise brothers, a modern-day Private Ryan.
And you fall under that illusion that it can't happen to the same family twice.
Twice. That's how many times Bo Wise has stood at attention and watched a flag-draped casket go by, carrying his brother.
How hard is it not to live in those memories and let them sit with you?
I'd say it's impossible. I think about those moments a lot, actually, whether I want to or not.
Jeremy Wise, a former Navy SEAL turned military contractor, was killed in 2009, protecting a CIA compound in Afghanistan from a suicide bomber. 8 others lost their lives in the attack. 2 years later, Ben Wise, a Green Beret, died of injuries sustained in a firefight in the Afghan mountains. One of his last acts was dragging a fellow coalition soldier to safety.
The way that they died was representation of how they lived. They died saving lives.
That's when Bo Wise, a Marine, was pulled from any future deployments to save his family more heartache, a military rule called the sole survivor policy, made famous in Saving Private Ryan.
The sympathy for my mom and dad.
Bo, the only surviving Wise brother, is taking a role he never wanted and using it to tell his brother's stories in the book, 3 Wise Men.
It gave an accurate picture of what...
Delray Beach author Tom Sileo offered to help, conducting dozens of interviews, even piecing together Jeremy and Ben's final moments.
To help that 99% that hasn't had the honor of serving, including me, understand what military families sacrifice on a daily basis.
Tom estimates the Wise brothers spent a combined 1,600 days at war, away from kids, wives, and parents. Inspired, families of other service members, some who've known the same pain, have already begun reaching out.
Just get to the next day and rely on the family members that you have and just keep moving forward.
The 3 Wise brothers, a guiding light in grief and a reminder to us all of the costly sacrifices our nation asks of service members and the people they leave behind.
Tom and Bo also told us they hope that this book inspires other service members who are perhaps suffering in silence to come forward and get the help that they need. We've got resources for anyone suffering from PTSD on this story on our website. I'm Jay O'Brien, CBS 12 News.
Turning now to the coronavirus, the mass vaccination tent at the South Florida Fairgrounds is officially open and plans to vaccinate another 800 people tomorrow. Today, they gave shots to people who emailed the county health department to get on a waiting list. There are still up to 60,000 names on that list, and the healthcare district has to vaccinate all the people on that list before they can start taking any new appointments. The tent will be open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. For a full breakdown of where you can get your vaccine and how to sign up for each location, just head to our website, cbs12.com, then click on the coronavirus tab.
The CARES Act was supposed to give economic assistance to American workers, but almost a year into the pandemic, and that money is just now in the hands of some local cities. Last spring, Palm Beach County was given $250 million in CARES Act money from the federal government, but that money never funneled down to local cities to offset their expenses from the pandemic. Boca Raton, well, they went in a different direction. They asked the federal and state governments for assistance, and this week the city announced that it's been given a $900,000 grant for rental assistance and for nonprofit groups.
Eye on education. Despite President Biden's push to reopen schools, many districts are putting plans in place for virtual learning in the fall amid concerns of variants and vaccinations. But because of this past school year, summer school may be mandatory if your child's falling behind. This summer, school officials hope to address the academic gaps that were brought on by the pandemic, which has triggered a dramatic drop in grades across our region. Some school districts are making it mandatory that they attend summer classes. That will be the case in Martin County for kids who score a level 1 in their English language arts assessment exam, and for students falling behind in Indian River County.
Well, 33 days. That's just how long a trio was stranded on a barren Caribbean island. They were barely able to survive, living off nothing more than conch and rodents. And Liz, this is a real story of survival.
And Jim, it was what the group of 3 constructed out of driftwood on the sand that caught the attention of the U.S. Coast Guard. CBS 12's Lily Ortiz spoke one-on-one with the pilot who rescued them. She joins us now with how they survived.
These are the types of missions that we joined the Coast Guard to do. To go out there and save people's lives.
While on a routine patrol Monday, the U.S. Coast Guard rescued 2 men and 1 woman cast away on Anguilla Cay, a deserted island near the Bahamas. The island is small, filled with palm trees, shrubs, and rocky grounds. You can't see much, but Pilot Lieutenant Mike Allert says it's what the group made that grabbed their attention. That's
when we saw their large flags that they had made out of driftwood and fabric, and a large wooden cross as well that they had made out of driftwood, and that was the most visible. We flew right to them after we saw that.
As the Coast Guard dropped food, water, and a radio to be able to communicate, they also noticed the group build themselves a makeshift shelter. Lieutenant Allert and his crew eventually hoisted them into the helicopter. It took about 20 minutes.
They were able to walk, but just barely. They were suffering from a lot of fatigue and dehydration due to being out there for so long. We didn't have blankets for them in the aircraft, but we did have Tyvek suits, which helped at least keep them a little bit warmer.
So what did they say to you? Did you talk to them?
They identified themselves as Cuban nationals. So they didn't live much further south than where these islands are. But they were definitely very happy to see us. They were in good spirits.
He says the group lived off of conch and rats for 33 days after their boat capsized in rough waters.
The conch shells were definitely all over the place.
The lack of fresh water would have killed them. Lieutenant Allert flew them to a medical center in the Keys with no serious injuries.
We are very blessed, I would say, to be able to have the opportunity to do this and help somebody else in this way.
Border Patrol agents eventually took them into custody, and they were transferred here to this facility in Pompano Beach. Lieutenant Allert says it's still unclear if they were just fishing and their boat capsized or they were trying to migrate to another country. What's certain, he says, is that they're lucky they were found alive. In Pompano Beach, I'm Lily Ortiz, CBS 12 News.
And Cubans continue to escape their struggling island nation each year. In fact, the Coast Guard says they usually encounter about 50 immigrants a year trying to cross the Straits of Florida. Those people are generally repatriated back to Cuba. The U.S. has a long-running economic sanction against Cuba's communist-run government, but the new Biden administration wants to lift those restrictions.
Tomorrow, the impeachment trial for former President Donald Trump will continue. Today, House managers played a series of chilling and violent videos from the Capitol riot not previously seen. Serving as prosecutors, the 9 impeachment managers took turns detailing the events leading up to the deadly violence at the Capitol exactly 5 weeks ago today. At least 17 Republicans would have to join Democrats to convict Mr. Trump. Next at 11, information flooding in on a cold case from decades ago. What has people calling in with tips from all over?
And then a piece of Palm Beach history you may have never heard. It's a large black community that's settled on the island. The fire that wiped them out and the community they created across the bridge that is thriving today.
And after a warm day in those lower 80s, we're seeing those 70s across the area, but it's going to be a mild night. We could get some patchy fog. A look at when that fog will break and the heat that's going to return coming up in my forecast.
Are asking for your help identifying the body of a man that was found near Boynton Beach last year. Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office discovered the remains in an area over at La Chalette Boulevard near Jog Road back in September of 2020. We do know the victim's between the ages of 35 and 65 years old, around 6 feet tall. He could be white or Hispanic ancestry. The man had an eagle tattoo and poor dental hygiene, according to reports. He was also missing several teeth. You can call Crime Stoppers if you have any information.
Boynton Beach police say they're getting an influx of tips into a cold case that has stumped them for decades, thanks to a new podcast. 18-year-old Vicki Rose Miller was brutally attacked and murdered in Boynton Beach in 1996. And now, thanks to a podcast and a national magazine spread, detectives say they're closer than ever to catching her killer.
So we've gotten emails, we've gotten phone calls.
Crime Stopper tips.
Since a police intern started a podcast on Vicki's death months ago, they say the amount of people listening has more than doubled. Now they believe it's a matter of when, not if, they catch the person responsible for her death.
Well, breaking a trend for the third straight year, homicides continue to drop in Palm Beach County. And just this year, no homicides have been reported so far. According to the Palm Beach Post, the county usually reports on average about 7 homicides every January, although experts agree that a 1-month sample size is too small to make any analysis, according to law enforcement. Although the numbers are better, there is still work to be done.
Imagine your entire town being burned down just because of the color of your skin. That's what reportedly happened in Palm Beach County in the 1900s.
Yeah, this is Black History Month. We're taking a look at this chapter in our local history that most have never heard and the folklore that surrounds it. Here's our Denise Sawyer with that story.
Now, Henry Flagler is best known for helping to create and grow the earliest chapters of the town of Palm Beach and Palm Beach County. And more than a century ago, this area here was home to thousands of black laborers who helped with development. At the turn of the 20th century, an employment boom in South Florida.
These are the people that came to work for Henry Flagler to extend the railroad, to build the Royal Ponciana Hotel and the Flagler Museum.
Author and historian Avery Jimerson Clark says 1,000 laborers were hired to extend Henry Flagler's Florida East Coast Railroad and played a key role in the development of the town of Palm Beach. Many of their descendants still live here.
My grandmother brought my father and his siblings to Palm Beach to work for Henry Flagler.
My great-great-grandfather, who was the steamboat captain, his name was Jack Williams, for President Harding, was commissioned to bring Henry Flagler down here from up north.
Many of those families settled on Palm Beach Island between North County Road and Sunrise Avenue, an area of small tent-like homes that would soon become known as the Sticks. It was a growing African-American community until conditions there eventually deteriorated. The details of what happened next remain a source of debate to this day, but many believe Henry Flagler may have played a role. Former West Palm Beach Commissioner Robbie Littles heard the story this way.
He threw a party for the blacks on the island. They all went over to the party, and while they were celebrating and enjoying themselves, their homes on the island of Palm Beach, in the town of Palm Beach, burned down mysteriously.
Local business owner Derek McCrae's family version of the tale is much the same.
They had a mob of people to burn up the people's homes and shanties and tents over on in the Sticks and forced them out of there, and then they took the land.
The Palm Beach Historical Society's version is very different. Published text says only that by 1912, the tenants of the Sticks had been evicted. No mention of a fire or any record of that large-scale homelessness that would have followed such a devastating blaze. Avery Clark believes this version is the most accurate.
They claimed there was a fire, and Flagler had the people come over here to a circus and all of that, but that's not true.
Local historian and attorney Richard Riles expects there's some truth to all of those stories.
There is probably somewhere in between the Palm Beach County Historical Society's version of events and the African Americans' lore of events, It's somewhere in between.
Regardless of how it happened, many of those displaced residents of the Sticks moved to West Palm Beach, including an area which became known as Pleasant City, now considered the first upscale black subdivision in South Florida, with many residents from educated backgrounds.
It was very thriving. A lot of industries were coming here. There were a lot of jobs that people were doing. So it was really a great time. And it was a good time to have a black physician in Palm Beach County.
Decades later, urban sprawl and the introduction of low-income housing would eventually drive many of those original families away, taking their businesses with them. Today, there are plans for a new future built on a proud history.
This is the Sticks Promenade.
The Sticks Promenade is a project aimed at revitalizing the area and connecting people to black-owned businesses in West Palm Beach.
This project was an effort to pay homage to those humble African community origins that started in Palm Beach and are very important to the city of West Palm Beach.
The centerpieces, Heart and Soul Park off 7th and Rosemary, and a revitalized Sunset Lounge, which once welcomed all the legendary entertainers of the era.
Ella Fitzgerald, Duke Ellington, and all those people would come before the Cotton Club and before the other thing was even born. That was the Sunset, the class of black people.
Now developers are making room for a Sticks revitalization project for 10 businesses. This $1.9 million project is slated to open later this summer. In Palm Beach, I'm Denise Sawyer for CBS 12 News.
Well, turning now to weather, temperatures won't be moving too much as you head to bed. Chief Meteorologist Vitas Reed has been tracking those temperatures. And how long are we going to have this warming trend?
Well, let's see. Let me check my watch. Well, it looks like for a while. I think we're looking pretty good. And I think folks like this weather.
Yeah.
People are out and about, and especially out at the beaches. Some of our cams that are out there catching folks enjoying a nice time out there. So looks like you can get out there with another nice day. Now, tonight, starting with air, we're going to see those temperatures down into the lower mid-70s. So pretty comfortable, partly cloudy skies, but we could get some patchy fog as we get in through your morning commute. So make sure you slow those speeds down. I'll show you that in just a moment, but we're talking about temperatures getting down into those lower 70s, mid-upper 60s, maybe about a mid-60 over towards Okeechobee. We're looking at temperatures right now. Indiantown 65, 73 West Palm Beach, Stewart at 70 degrees. As we look at our hour by the morning, we'll see those temperatures actually going up, getting up nice and warm as we continue to get that sun rising and the fog burning off probably by 10 a.m. That's when we really start seeing those temperatures surge up and start warming back up into those lower 80s across the area. Feeling pretty good. Muggy meter, we'll start to feel a little bit muggy out there as we get closer towards the weekend. Not too bad. It's tolerable for the next couple of days. So weather-wise, temperatures are feeling nice and warm in those low 80s, but the humidity levels not unbearable. We get a little more moisture working its way in towards the weekend as that front pushes down from the north, giving us a little more humidity out there. Fog tracker for tomorrow morning. Morning commute could have some dense fog, especially back towards South Bay, Okeechobee, looking at Indiantown, maybe a little heavier fog down towards Wellington. We had some folks reporting that earlier from this morning, but it looks like along the I-95 corridor, just be aware there could be some patchy fog burning off as we get into the mid-morning, sun rising, and we'll get more clearing out there across the area as we go through the day. Warm temperatures because of high pressure just off to the east, just north of the Bahamas. It looks like that's going to continue as we continue to see those temperatures in the low 80s. Feeling pretty good out there when our normal temperatures this time of year, right around 76 degrees. We're seeing temperatures in the low 80s, right around 82, 83 degrees. So we're holding on to that, and our next weather maker will be bringing us some rain as we get later on in the week. Better chances towards the weekend. 81 degrees for Fort Pierce tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine. Jupiter looking at 82 degrees, 83 Belle Glade. Down in Boca, right around 83 degrees for your high with mostly sunny skies. And we'll see plenty of sunshine until late afternoon. Model run showing some showers and thunderstorms firing up right around that 4 to 6 o'clock hour. Thinking more towards the Treasure Coast, you'll see more activity, so keep an eye to the sky. And remember, if you hear thunder, that means you could be struck by lightning. So remember to find a nice, safe, sturdy place to go if you're out and about and you do hear thunder and see a storm approaching. More spotty showers once again in the afternoon on Friday evening. And then as we see this next cool front push down towards the weekend, that's our next weather maker to bring us some rain across the area, a little more steady rain. And there could be about 1/4 of an inch of rain possibly on the model runs. Some areas showing about a ½ inch as we get through the weekend on the European model here across the area. A little heavier amounts as you get closer and further north in the state over towards Orlando. Rain chances do increase as we go through the weekend, about a 30% chance on Friday and Saturday. As we get towards Sunday, looking at a 40% chance, and then we're about a 30% chance on Monday. So as we get into Valentine's weekend, don't forget all the loved ones out there. We're going to see maybe a few spotty showers across the area, and we'll also see those temperatures above normal in those 80s. So we're looking at 83 on Thursday, 82 on Friday, low 80s as we go through the weekend as well. I'll break down your 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit.
Well, here's a look from our Drone 12 flying over Coral Cove. We'll be right back.
Hubbard Radio Stations, proud sponsors of the CBS 12 News Network, the one to turn to. South Florida Honda Sports Report.
Well, it seemed like smooth sailing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, so boats were the perfect place to celebrate their Super Bowl victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, the Super Bowl championship boat parade went down today along the Hillsborough River in downtown Tampa. Tom Brady having a great time on his yacht. Best moment right here, Brady with his best pass of the season, throwing the Lombardi Trophy over to Gronk, who makes the perfect catch in his boat. Yet another awesome hookup. There's another view. Brady and Rob Gronkowski, they never fail to entertain us. Tampa still in party mode tonight.
We're going for 2. All right, we're going for 2, and we ain't stopping. All right? We're going to keep this band together, and they know how to win. We have the best coaching staff in the NFL, and we damn sure got the best players in the NFL.
Arians' family almost convinced him to opt out of the 2020 season. He is sure happy he did not do that now.
She's been in this moment a lot more than I am, but I'm just going to go out there and have fun.
Delray Beach native Coco Gauff will have to keep that ultra-positive attitude tonight, or should I say early tomorrow morning and a few hours from now when she takes on 5th-seeded Alina Svitolina in the Australian Open, the second round. Gauff has not made it past the second round in 7 straight tournaments.
I don't feel any pressure. I mean, obviously you want to do as well or even better than the year before, but I try not to think about it and just take it one match at a time. I mean, this is only my second Australian Open, so, I mean, I'm just going out there and having fun.
Well, Coco's match is slated to start no earlier than 3 a.m. Eastern this morning. Palm Beach Gardens has become the center of the soccer universe in the state of Florida and potentially one of the top spots for soccer development in the nation. Yeah, the Palm Beach Gardens Predators have been accepted into the Girls Academy, an elite soccer league that only honors 84 teams nationwide with GA status. Gardens being recognized for its standards of training and coaching, the national platform will provide competitive elite soccer with teams from across the country and, of course, individually, opportunities for college and professional women's soccer in the future.
The goal is to develop players for the national team, and that's the crown jewel. Palm Beach Gardens will have players that we've developed from U9 to U18 and go on to further opportunities, college opportunities, and then potentially and hopefully professional opportunities.
PBG Predators Soccer have a staff that also includes 10 female professional soccer coaches. Congrats, guys.
We're going to see some more warmer temperatures. Normally right around a high of 76 degrees, but we're hitting those temperatures in the low 80s for the next few days. If you're going out to the pool, it's going to be fabulous. But you want to make sure you keep an eye to the sky because we're going to get about a 20% chance or 30% chance for some showers here and there. You hear rumble of thunder, make sure you find that shelter. And we're going pretty good through the weekend, nice and warm.
Tomorrow on CBS 12 News this morning, what to do if you need to file a tax return for a missing stimulus check. Join Matt Lincoln and Ashley Glass tomorrow morning starting at 4:30 a.m.
And remember, the news is always on at CBS12.com. Have a great evening, everyone.
We'll see you tomorrow.